Hi, sir. This is T. Kushi from ITA, and my roll number is 37. And my topic for CNS subject for Tech Talk is security at the internet layer. So, coming to the introduction, network layer security controls have been used frequently for security communications, particularly over shared networks such as internet, because they can provide protection for many applications at once without modifying them. Security protocols have evolved for network security, ensuring basic tenets of security such as privacy, origin authentication, message integrity, and non-repudiation. Network security consists of the provisions and policies adopted by a network administrator to prevent and monitor unauthorized access, misuse, modification, or denial of a computer network and network accessible resources. Network security involves the authorization of access to data in a network, which is controlled by the network administrator. Network security covers a variety of computer networks, both public and private, that are used in everyday jobs, conducting transactions and communications. So, why do we need security? So, generally, security is needed to provide uh, user data information in a secure manner so that it will be protected from ethical hackers or normal hackers. So, protect the vital information while still allowing access to those who need it. Trade secrets, medical records, etc. Provide authentication and access control for resources, guarantee accessibility, availability of the resources, and coming to the security objectives, the three main steps of maintaining the security of the information are identification, authentication, and access control. So this is a normal flow chart or a picture that represents what are the securities needed. So at perception layer, you need confidentiality, lightweight encryption technology, and protecting sensors. At network layer, you need authentication, communication security, confidentiality, integrity. And at middleware layer, you need availability, authentication, confidentiality, privacy protection, and non-repudiation. And at application layer, you need authentication, privacy protection, as well as confidentiality. So coming to identification, something which uniquely identifies a user and is called as a user ID. Sometimes users can select their IDs as long as it is given to the another user. User ID can be one or combination of the following. It may be username or user student number or user SSN number. So these are some of the examples how you can give your user ID for the identification. Main example is your Gmail. So you'll have user ID. By using that user ID, you can log into your Gmail and you can give that user ID to other people to send or receive mails from them as well. So coming to authentication, the process of verifying the identity of a user is called as authentication. So verifying of a user, so whether this user is correct or not, or whether this credentials belong to that user or not. So the verifying of credentials of a user is called as authentication. So typically it is based on something user knows, something user have, and something user is. So it may be what is the best authentication method? That is, you can have voice authentication, or you'll have strong passwords. You can have two-step verification. You can have your fingerprints that you have in your mobiles, face recognitions. So these all things we use on a daily basis to provide authentication to our personal devices and to protect our personal information. So general access authentication. So to control whether or not a particular user has any type of access right to the element in a question, usually we consider these in the form of a user account. And we also have functional authorization, concern with individual user rights. What, for example, can user do once authenticated? Can they figure the device or only see the data? So next is access control. So refers to the security features that control who can access resources in the operating system. Applications call access control functions to set who can access specific resources or control access to resources provided by the application. So coming to access control, so some set of platforms provide access to only few users only, not to everybody. Some set of websites will be an open source that everybody can use. Some set of resources will be given access to a particular people. For example, if you take Byju's, you can use it freely for a certain period of time. After that, if you get subscribed only, you can access that website or that app, or else you cannot use that. Whereas coming to the Google web pages, anything, it can be accessed by everyone. These are open sources. So that is nothing but access control. So let us know what are the security functions. The important security functions are confidentiality, origin authentication and data integrity, and key management. So coming to confidentiality, it enables communication nodes to encrypt messages, prevents dropping by third parties. So these are the points of confidentiality. And next, origin authentication and data integrity. It provides assurance that a received packet was actually transmitted by the party identified as a source in the packet header. It confirms that the packet has not been altered or otherwise. So with the help of data integrity, we can say that the data sent by the sender and the data received by the receiver is same and there are no alterations done. Coming to key management, it allows secure exchange of keys, protection against certain types of security attacks such as replay attacks. So this is a basic architecture of encryption of data and authentication. So coming to encryption, in cryptography, encryption is the process of transferring referred to as plain text using an algorithm called as cipher. So you are going to transfer a plain text into a ciphertext that is called as encryption. The reverse process to make the encrypted information into readable form again is called as decryption. So this is one of the way to provide security to the data of a user. Encryption can be used to protect data at rest, such as files on the computers and storage devices. Digital rights management systems, which prevent unauthorized use or reproduction of copyrighted material and protect software against reverse engineering. Encryption is also used to protect data in transit. Encryption by itself can protect the confidentiality of messages. So the 7 layers of IT security are: level 1 is mission critical assets, layer 2 is data security, layer 3 is application security, layer 4 is endpoint security, layer 5 is network security, layer 6 is perimeter security, layer 7 is the human layer security layer. So security at the internet layer, often referred to as a network layer security, is essential for safeguarding data and communication in a vast and interconnected world of internet. This layer corresponds to the third layer of the OSI model and is primarily responsible for routing data packets across the network. So here are some key aspects of security at the internet layer. So first is Internet Protocol Security, that is IPsec, is a suite of protocols that provides authentication, confidentiality, and data integrity at the internet layer. It's commonly used for securing communications between network devices such as VPNs, that is virtual private networks. IPsec operates at the IP3 layer and can encrypt and authenticate the traffic. Next is firewalls. Firewalls are the network security devices that can operate at the network layer to filter and control traffic between different networks or network segments. They can enforce security policies by blocking or allowing specific types of traffic based on rules and configurations. Next is intrusion detection and prevention systems. So it is a solution on monitor network traffic for signs of suspicious or malicious activities. They can operate at the network layer to detect and sometimes block potential threats in real time. Next is access control lists. So access control lists are used to control access to the network resources based on some set of rules. Network administrators can configure access control lists to permit or deny traffic based on a source and destination's IP addresses. So for this, you use some set of protocols and port numbers as well. Next, coming to VPNs, which are called as virtual private networks. VPNs use encryption and tunneling protocols to create secure communication channels over the internet. They protect data in transit by establishing encrypted connections, and they are often used to connect remote users or branch offices to a corporate network securely. Next is subnetting and network segmentation. By dividing a network into smaller subnets, you can limit the scope of potential attacks and reduce the exposure of sensitive systems. This is the fundamental security practice to isolate and segment critical resources. Coming to security protocols, security communication protocols like SSH and security sockets layer provide secure remote access and data transmission at the network layer. So SSH, that stands for Secure Shell, and SSL, that stands for Security Sockets Layer. So these are generally used to provide security at data transmission layer, that is the network layer. Coming to IPv6 protocol, that is IP version 6. With the adoption of IP version 6, it's important to consider security in the context of the new IP version. IPv6 includes security features such as IPsec integration and better address space management, which can improve network security. Next is routing security. Securing the routing infrastructure is a crucial to protect attacks like BGP, that is Broader Gateway Protocol, hijacking the gateways of the websites. Routers and routing protocols should be configured and monitored for security. Next is DOS mitigation, that is denial of service. Implementing DOS mitigation strategies at the network layer can help protect against attacks that flood a network with traffic, causing severe disruption. Network monitoring and logging. Continuous monitoring and logging analysis of network traffic and activities are vital for detecting and responding to security incidents. Tools and solutions are also used to collect and analyze data at the network layer. Coming to security policies and compliance, develop and enforce network security policies and ensure compliance with relevant regulations and standards to maintain a secure network environment. So let us come to the conclusion that why do you need security at the internet layer? So in conclusion, security at the internet layer is a critical component of ensuring the safety and integrity of data communication in today's interconnected world. This layer, which corresponds to the network layer in the OSI model, plays a fundamental role in routing data packets across the network. So security at the internet layer is an essential part of the comprehensive security strategy, complementing measures at other layers to create a robust defense against various threats and vulnerabilities. By implementing a combination of these security practices and technologies, organizations can establish a more secure and reliable network infrastructure, protecting sensitive data and ensuring the uninterrupted flow of communication across the internet. So we can say that security at internet layer is important in today's developing world, because we use today's world is mainly dependent on technology. So security is needed at the internet layer. So mainly security is based on confidentiality, data integrity, authentication, and access control. So these are the main concepts at which we need data security. So I think security at each and every level is important, because in our day-to-day life, technology is more involved. So to protect us from many kinds of threats and vulnerabilities, data security is needed at every internet layer. So I hope you understood this topic clearly. Thank you.